Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Tuesday. This fine Tuesday, the sun is shining. I'm feeling really good. I am now starting my 25-day challenge. I started yesterday actually. And it's really interesting. I'm going to talk on Thursday, I think, this week in the wellness spa about, like the ins and outs of it and things like that. And I actually found a word for it. It's called biohacking. So if anyone wants to go look that up, this is definitely a biohacking situation that I've embarked on over the next 25 days, or now 24 days, heading into my birthday. My 40th birthday. So don't forget we're doing that. But what prompted this journey was the topic of discussion that we have in our morning mindset this week, which is it's holding you back. It's like, what is holding you back? And it's you, like you holding you back. But we're talking about the reasons why we are held back. So we talked about that initial question on the first day about why don't you just do it? And the next day, yesterday, we talked about sometimes we feel like by not achieving our goals or by not getting what we want, it's benefiting us in some way. So today we are expanding on this even further, and we're actually going to discuss the real biggie when it comes to not achieving goals or holding yourself back. And the biggie is fear. It's basically when we are afraid. And I always remember someone telling me you have to come to terms with your fear and desire. And that's what we're talking about today, because it's very, very important to distinguish this. It's almost like, okay, so it's almost like, and again, I'm just plucking these analogies off the top of my head. You have to come to terms with fear and desire. So like when my daughter comes to me and says, Mom, can I have some juice? I really want some juice. And I'm like, yeah, you know where it is. It's in the fridge. Go get it. She's like, no, I don't want to. I want to go to the fridge. That's not necessarily a fear, but it's kind of like wanting one thing, but you're heading in two different directions, or you're not taking the action to get it. So it's like having this desire for something in your life, or this desire to get something, but then not taking the actions to be able to actually achieve it. And fear is something that is definitely it can definitely put a stop onto the thing that we're desiring. So you have to come to terms with your fear and desire. You have to decide what's more important. Is it the desire, or is it the fear that backs it up from not achieving that desire? It's almost like you want the thrill of a skydive, but you're afraid of heights. Come to terms with your fear and desire. Do you want to do the skydive, or are you going to let the fear take over and you just simply won't go and do it because you're too afraid of the heights? That kind of thing. I hope this analogy is working. But most of the time when I sit here and I think, oh, I really want that but is often something like we're afraid of. Like there is a reason why, and you have to come to terms with that. What's more important to you? So when you're in this situation, when we're talking about things that are holding us back, and we're talking about ourselves holding us back, we have to really be clear on this. What is more important? Is it the desire? Is it the need to have something, or is it the fear attached to it? I will share something odd which happened to me yesterday, and I've talked about this a lot, and this is part of the whole biohacking thing that I'm starting, and I'll expand on this on Thursday when we do the session in the wellness spa. But it was really interesting to me. So I have this app called UltiSelf. I've mentioned it before here in these morning mindsets, and it's basically something where you tick off certain things or healthy habits that you're doing in the day. So, Nikki's got it too. Okay, so here's my UltiSelf, and I was terrible at this. I have these reminders set up, and I was like, oh yeah, I really should do that. But then I get sucked into work, or I have to go and get the kids, or somebody needs something of me, and then I might look at the end of the day and think, oh, I didn't do that, you know. And it's like really like, it actually makes me feel like bad sometimes until yesterday. Now, the one thing I wanted to really do was complete my ulti self. And I'll talk on Thursday in our wellness spa what is actually on my ulti self for biohacking. Oh, and Karen's just got it too. Excellent. We're all ulti-selfing. So it was really weird, my mindset shift yesterday. When I made this commitment to do this biohacking thing for the next 25 days before I turned 43, I actually became quite curious about what would happen if I really did tick everything off on my ulti self. So I used to maybe get like, I would say probably 5 or 6 on average ulti selves. And I have in there right now 10 that I have to be doing on a daily basis. The biohacking thing, 10 things I have to be doing on a daily basis. And it's really interesting how yesterday I absolutely prioritized those things. I didn't do one of them, but it was really interesting because I'd committed this, and I said basically I have to treat this like it was work. You know, I had to treat my ulti self like it was a client in order to achieve this, and I'd not really done that before. But I kept thinking to myself that ulti self, this might help you, ulti self was my client and I had to get these 10 things done today for my client. And obviously I'm the client too, you know. And it was really weird how I kept thinking, it was really on my mind all day, oh, I've got to do that. Like, what can I get off now to get it done? And I'm like this at work. I'm really, really like this at work. Like, I'll always be looking at things thinking, oh, what can I get done today? You know, like you have a to-do list. I've got to get this done. I've got to get this done. I was literally the same with my ulti self app, and I was constantly thinking, oh, I could quickly do that now. I could quickly throw that in. I mean, it was like, there's nothing on there that's like really overwhelmingly huge, and I was thinking, well, why don't I? Well, I could just do that now. So I literally did that, and I ended up crossing off 9 things yesterday, which is like completely unheard of, because of simply that reframing that this is just important as a client, and I have to treat my ulti self list as a client. And I know I would 100% do all 10 if it was a client, you know. So why aren't I doing that myself? And this came back to the very first day where we asked the question, why don't you just do it? Why aren't you just doing it? So that was a really kind of good thing for me. Nikki says that's a good way of looking at it. And Karen said, good idea. I always put myself last. Absolutely, me too. I'm definitely notorious for that. And it's really funny because I was talking to a friend, and I said, you know, I did this, and I said, it's really amazing what commitment can do. It's really amazing when you've put something out there and you've said, right, I've got to do this. And I put a time frame on it, you know, it's like 25 days. And I just kept thinking to myself, it's just 25 days. And I've got this big client launch. I'm doing my own launch. But there was really nothing in that list that would take me away from doing these other things. It was just simple, like I just always prioritized everything else. And yesterday I really prioritized myself with ulti self. And I literally treated ulti self was the 10-point list on there, the 10 habits that I wanted to achieve. If I could just simply roll through those and get it done, that's the same as just simply rolling through the client tasks and get it done. So I lumped it all together yesterday, you know, as these are the things I need to get done today. That was one of them. And I did pretty good, to be honest with you, even to the point, which is unheard of, that I left, sleep is one of them. That I've got on there because I'm in a sort of space now where my youngest baby is sleeping through the night, which I'm so grateful for. So I was thinking to myself, well, I've got no excuses now, because I used to kind of work till sometimes 2 o'clock in the morning, or I'd be waking up and I'd sometimes kind of do things, but it was always reflecting on my sleep thing on my iPhone and stuff like that I was getting probably on average about 4 4 to 4.5 hours of sleep a night, which is not particularly healthy. It's probably about half of what I should be getting. So I set the UltiSelf up for the sleep, and I literally was getting anxiety because I was sat at my desk quite late last night because I've got a big client launch doing, and I was getting anxiety, and I was saying, right, I have to leave my desk at this particular time tonight in order to get in the UltiSelf thing to tick it off. So I did. It worked, guys. It really did work. I was like, shit, if I don't, oh, sorry, didn't say yes, but I was like, sorry, kids. I was thinking to myself, like, if I don't leave my desk now, I won't be able to check that off, and that would be a big letdown. I would be letting myself down. I'd be letting all of you guys down, because I'm hoping at the end of this 25 days, I'll be able to share with you some kind of results from this biohacking practice. So that was what it was today. You know, I was afraid, funnily enough, of not achieving this challenge, this 25-day UltiSelf challenge. I was literally afraid of that. So my desire was stronger than my fear. I mean, they're all a combination. But I think I will be more afraid at the end if nothing happens, you know, and I sit here going, yeah, well, I had good intentions, but they all fell by the wayside, and I prioritized other things. Like, yeah, that makes me afraid. So my desire is definitely overtaking in this process. And that's something that you also need to question for yourself, whether, you know, which is the dominant thought process, which is the dominant pattern. What do you want more? Do you want the goal more? Are you totally committed to that? Or do you want, and we'll talk about this a little bit more tomorrow, you know, the sort of comfort of, you know, not stepping into a fear or not stepping into something that you don't want in order to achieve it? Because sometimes they do go hand in hand. Anyway, that was today's pep talk. We are, on that note, we're going to do our accountability now. I have my journal here. Look, I'll show you this. My daughter did this, and she gave it to me, and I use it as a bookmark. It's in my journal. I don't know why this is symbolic. But I don't know. I just use it as a bookmark because I think it's lovely. But there's definitely something symbolic in there. You know, you've got this like tiny little ship, and it's almost like yourself, and you don't realize what's underneath the surface of yourself, and you are so much bigger than you think you are. I think this is the metaphorical meaning behind this picture. You are bigger and stronger than you think you are. You are not this. Okay. That was a profound end of the message there. Okay, so let's get into our accountability night now, guys. The next 5 minutes. We are back here tomorrow with another morning mindset session. We're continuing our holding you back topic tomorrow. We've got our final session tomorrow because we're doing our card readings on Thursday. Oh, and by the way, today we have our tarot and oracle card session inside virtual co-working space, inside the Sky Sanctuary. And I added something today which is super cool. It's inside the community area. If you go to the Sky Sanctuary in the community area, you can now request personal readings if you can't make it to the session. So there's a couple of options for you to choose from. You can do an oracle card if you want to just receive a message on a specific thing, or you can do a yes or no question, which is very specific to you. Normally I do general group readings, and people kind of have to figure out whether that message is for them. But if you can't attend the group reading or you don't want the group message, you can get specific messages. Nikki said, is that just if you can't be there? No, you can also request in advance if you are going to be there. So basically, if you want a personal reading and you want to select one of those options, just let me know on the comment so I know, and I can make sure I allocate my time there. So yes, whether you're going to attend or whether you're not going to attend, you can request what you would like for your personal reading in that session. And that's just available to co-workers in the virtual co-working space. So if you can attend, great, because you can pick up your message directly. And also we can expand on that as well if you wanted to ask questions about it. But If you can't attend, I'll just do the straight reading for you based on what it is you chose. So whether you chose a specific oracle card deck, or whether you want me to choose for you, or whether you chose to do a short tarot reading specific to you as well. So that's that. So hopefully that will help everyone, because I did have people say that they would really love to attend the card reading session, but they weren't able to. And I get it, life's busy and things. But this way, I'm still able to serve you on a more personal level with personal readings, even if you can't make it. Okay, guys, so thank you so much for being here today. I will be back here tomorrow with our final holding you back and topic. And for now, let's do accountability. Have a wonderful day ahead. Before we begin, don't forget you can join me live online inside Virtual Co-working Space at www.virtualmissfriday.com/VCS. If you enjoy this session, give it a like. I'd love to hear from you, so write me a comment. And so you don't miss any updates, don't forget to subscribe. Let's begin. So now we're going to look for the positive with our gratitude. First, we'll spend 1 minute thinking of the day before, thinking of all the things that happened, reflecting on work, interactions, relationships, memorable moments, and more. Now you'll write one thing down minimum that you're grateful for. You can, of course, write down more. Something good, something that went right, a small moment or a big win. The more you search for things to be grateful for, the more you will experience things to be grateful for. Now we're going to read out your goal. Make sure your goal is written down in a journal or somewhere you can easily access it. Read your goal now, ideally out loud, and commit to this goal. Believe it will happen. And by reading this daily, the universe knows clearly what your goal is, and the things begin to shift in the direction of your goal. Follow your instincts when this happens by taking action. Now you need to see your goal in visualization. Spend this minute thinking about the goal in your mind. See yourself taking steps towards the goal, or even better still, see yourself having already achieved the goal. Close your eyes and go there. Step into the feeling, step into the place, step into the accomplishment. And finally, it's time for your most important task. Set this task for today and make it relating to your goal. This could be something small like sending an email, recording a video, or making a phone call, or it could be bigger. Either way, one task a day is one step forward, and those steps will add up. Do what you can from where you are now. Set the intention, and the action will carry you towards your goal. Well done you for completing your daily co-create session. Have a fantastic day ahead, and I'll see you next time.